Hi guys, Maikeru here. This is my new series on the Hardcore Iron Man, Die or Die. The whole objective of this series is to try and get a die by the end of the year. I want a die on this account for when I get a Noxious Scythe. I currently have a Fang and 1 leg piece. That means I'm 2 leg pieces away from my Scythe, which means I should probably get that by the end of the year as well, with decent RNG at Araxor doing it every day. Naturally, I want a die for that Scythe when I get it. I want to try and get a die by the end of the year on this account, and as punishment if I don't get a die, I am going to get my character killed. It's a hardcore Iron Man, so I'd rather not kill off this account because it has nearly 300 days played. But I thought this would be a good mini-series to showcase building up a good preset for clues, starting with nothing, building your Globetrotter, getting your Patches of the Abyss, etc., and just improving the setup as you go. My Iron Man has barely anything for clues, so it'll be fun to showcase how to build a clue preset. Then hopefully by the end, in a couple of months, I should have my die from doing clues as well. And if I don't, then I guess we die. So without further ado, let's get into the first episode where I do a ton of preparation and a decent amount of clues, of course. Starting out, there is one main thing I would always advise to get before anything else if you're going to be doing a decent amount of clues, and obviously I'm going to be doing quite a lot for my die. This is of course the Totem of Treasure. What the Totem of Treasure does is it reduces the steps per clue by 1, no matter the tier. So for example, hard clues are normally 5 to 7 steps. With this totem it takes it to 4 to 6 steps per clue. This speeds up clues by like 20% on its own, which is absolutely nuts. You get one of the pieces by doing Anachronia Agility, and I managed to get the piece after 57 laps. It's a 1 in 100 per segment, which is a 1 in 18 chance per lap, so I was fairly dry on it I guess, but nothing crazy. The other piece is from Big Game Hunter. Big Game Hunter has a 1 in 50 chance for any totem. I did 106 big game hunts, and I got my first totem piece. I was just lucky enough that the first totem piece was a Totem of Treasure, and I can move on from there. Then I just had to find 20 of the Zygomites around and about for the last piece, which is the easiest one. I'll leave a link to the Totem of Treasure in the description to this video if you want to know more about it. It has all of the details on that wiki page. On screen I've shown on the map where I've placed my Totem of Treasure. It's the closest one to the base camp, and it's very easy to get to every week because you have to charge it up every single week to get its effect. It is a weekly D&D, and it does give you some divination XP, which is quite nice. So make sure you're charging it up every week on weekly resets so you can get your bonuses from that if you're doing clues. Now, every clue that I do moving into this series is going to have 1 less step. The first thing I would advise people to do is fill up your hidey holes. If you right click your treasure trove collection log and look at hidey hole locations, it will tell you if you filled them or not. If you do not know where to obtain the clue collection log, you can get that south of the GE at the clue shop. It is just on the side, you pick it up. I have every single hidey hole for hards filled except for the wilderness ones and the lighthouse. So the lighthouse was the only one I had to fill. So I grabbed my planks, I grabbed my nails and whatever items I needed to fill that, and went to the top of the lighthouse to fill that one. If you don't know what is needed for different clue tiers, there is a really helpful wiki page on that as well. I'll leave that in the description as well about hidey holes if you want to read more. I would advise building them as soon as possible. Another super helpful thing is Viswax being used on quick teleports. This makes your home teleports instant. It actually saves you a ton of time, and 1 Viswax gives you 10 quick teleports, which makes them only 1k per quick teleport. So if you value your time at like 800k or more per hour, this is going to be profitable for you in terms of the time that it saves. One thing that I've done so far is I completed Fairy Tale Part 3. This allowed me to use my Grace of the Elves attuned to fairy rings. On an Iron Man, it's very hard to get fungal components to make portable fairy rings, so it's very beneficial to make the Grace of the Elves take you there. That way, whenever you get one of the Xanaris steps, or you get Xanaris on like elites and stuff like that, you can just use your Grace of the Elves to get there. I also have the Grace of the Elves attuned to Overgrown Idols, which is the closest place to a glider. It also takes you to the Overgrown Idol on Karamja, which is near a couple of steps for hards, elites, and masters. So it's useful for every single clue tier because of the glider and because of the spots that are close by. So Overgrown Idols is the one that I recommend for any clue tier, even for a main account or whatever. Honestly, can't even remember what my log even looks like, so we can go through it together, right? Let's take a look at what the log looks like. Easy clue rewards, we have 11, nothing. Medium clue rewards, we have 3, which is probably just from dice. Hard clue rewards, we have 21. So starting with 21 hard clue rewards, we're definitely going to get more than that. We have 1 poop die. That's such a weird log, dude. Look at that. Oh, that's funny. That poop die was nice and lucky. Elite clues, we have 14 out of 71. And then masters, I don't think we've got many masters at all, so 7 out of 65. We've had an elemental battle star from our masters as well. It's just so funny to see. It's such a useful item as well, especially for an Iron Man. Very cool. So our stats is looking at 53 easies, 5 mediums, 192 hards. And I've had a poop die. Look at that RNG. 58 elites and only 15 masters. 75 to open. There's a fortunate straight away. Let's do a counter of how many fortunates we get. We have 320k. But I don't really look at the GP on an Iron Man. So as an Iron Man looking at this, Guthix pages are useful. Mahogany planks are okay. I think that's like worth keeping because of like everything in there is okay for an Iron Man. It's gonna be weird looking to reroll on an Iron Man. See, for this one, I'm keeping it. It's 169k, but it has Meerkat scrolls. That can be turned into 30 Meerkat scrolls. Every time I see a Meerkat, I need to keep it because it's 100% worth keeping. There's a fortunate. There's our second fortunate. Lovely. That's a 50% chance at the moment. We have a master in this one and 15 anti-fires, which is a misroll on 3rd age already on this account. Great. It's fine. Misrolls aren't the actual thing, so we're okay. Let's move forward. Sarah Domin page. Hello, a friend. Another fortunate that takes us up to 4 fortunates. We need to try and get 38 forts. So we're doing okay. We're doing okay. More skipping tickets. I'll take those for masters. Another fortunate Tan Cavalier. That's 9. So 20 in, and we've had 9. Slightly under the drop rate, but that's fine. That's a reroll. Into 10. Perfect. 10 forts. 45 caskets for 15 forts. Leads us to a 1 in 3. That's not great. That is actually really, really bad. 16 fortunates in 62 clues. It's like a 1 in 4 now. It's literally a 1 in 4 for a fortunate from hard clues. The average from hard clues is 50 to 60%. And I'm sitting at like a 26%. Like literally under half. Double fortunate, okay, that takes us to 18. Please, can we just get like a couple more double fortunates in here with our last 10? A master clue isn't bad. A fortunate there, that takes us to 19. There! Is that a triple? Triple fortunate, okay. That takes us to 22. Still not optimal, but that's a lot better. Triple fortunate is what we want to see. We have 6 more clues, and we've only had 22 forts. So we have a combo there, 23. There's a master and a fortunate, that's okay. So we're literally sitting at 9 masters from this opening, which is over drop rate. Under drop rate for the forts, but it's not too bad. We kind of took it back a little bit with that triple fort and the double fort. And our last one... 112k. So at least we started off really poorly. 24 fortunates in 75 clues leads us to just over a 30% chance for a fortunate when it should be double that. So I was expecting like 40 forts and I got 24. But with that being said, 24 fortunates takes us up to 36 total. So I need 14 more and then I can get a Passion of the Abyss. So I guess do it a couple more and we'll be good to go. Should be fine.
I wanted to continue to improve my clue preset, so because I was 110 archaeology, I could boost to 112 to make the Abyssal Link relic. This relic makes it so you get no XP for your teleports, but they cost no runes. This eliminates the need for my elemental battle staff and also saves me lore runes, which I can use on teleport tabs and stuff like that. So all I had to do is go into Guthix's shrine, grab the blade off the table. Then I already had a prototype gunblade, which is a level 112 artifact from a Tetra Compass, so I boosted with a bit of soil tea to 112, repaired that, then it was time to go make the relic, but when I went there, I discovered it needs 500 historic components, which meant I had to go back to the level 5 Caradet area, get loads and loads of the lowest level artifact, repair it, and disassemble it. When they're disassembled, the most common thing they disassemble to is 20 historic. They do sometimes give you 5 classic components as well, but 20 historic components is what they give like 75% of the time or something, so they're really, really good for these. I just spent half an hour here getting loads and loads of them, and I already had a decent amount of materials already stocked up in my storage, and I just repaired them all. After disassembling a total of about 35, I had enough historic components. So I went back, boosted with my T again to 112 archaeology and made that relic. Then it was time to just head over to the archaeology campus, activate that relic, then I could use it alongside persistent rage in order to do clues more efficiently. I like persistent rage for clues as well because it allows you to have 50% adrenaline for double agents and instantly use a threshold on them, and you never run out of adren even when out of combat, so you're always going to deal a lot of damage to those double agents. But because we had a really bad run with our hard clues, it was time to open up some easies. I completed 35 easy clues, I gathered them from pickpocketing ham members, and then I just completed them normally, super quick with the totem. I need 14 fortunate components. If I could get a little bit lucky here, I could get 14 and then make my passage of the abyss to make hards, elites, and masters much easier. I don't want to compact jewelry on my Iron Man. I'd rather just wait until I have a passage and have unlimited teleports essentially, because you recharge the passage with fortunate components instead of needing more of that jewelry. So I only have to make the jewelry once in order to put it into the passage, which is really good for an Iron Man. Those 35 easies gave me so many thoughts. It gave me 15, which is one more than I needed. So now it's time to disassemble those and make my patches of the abyss. For the alchemical onyx, I did need some refined components, so I made some junk refiners, just refined those components, and I had all of the other materials needed. Made my alchemical onyx, made it into a passage of the abyss. Now I needed to get 6 pieces of jewelry 100 times over, as you need to put 100 of every single teleportation jewelry that you want inside the passage. Once you've done that, you then just recharge it. One fortunate component gives 500 teleports, so it's just infinite teleports after that, especially on an Iron Man where you don't need those fortunates really. I had no sapphires, so I went to the uncommon gem rocks in Al-Kharid and they would give me a ton of sapphires. I just kept teleporting back towards retreat and then teleporting back here with the dungeoneering cape. Then I could just do that over and over again until I had 100 sapphires for my games necklaces. Then it was time to make all of the jewelry. I had to make emerald rings, sapphire necklaces, dragonstone bracelets, dragonstone amulets, dragonstone necklaces, and Rings of Slayer. Rings of Slayer are the only ones that come enchanted, so I had to then obviously go and enchant all the jewelry. I just used my elemental battle staff, which gave me all of the elemental runes, and 1 cosmic per enchant, so it cost me 500 cosmics for the 500 pieces of jewelry. Then I had 100 of every single piece of jewelry, and it was time to put them into the passage of the abyss. I now have 100 of every piece of jewelry, time to put it into the passage. So Ring of Duel in first, Amulet of Glory goes second. I actually need to charge the Amulet of Glories. Okay, yeah, I have to do the same with skills necklaces and combat bracelets. Off I go to Prif. Charging the Dragonstone jewelry had to be done in Prif, and I just done it on that fountain in the Kadan district. Kept going back and forth from the bank. Sadly, it can't be done noted. You just had to keep going with a full inventory each time. Didn't take long, couple of minutes. Now take 2 Amulet of Glory for the second slot, Games Necklace for the third slot, Combat Bracelet for the 4th slot, Skills Necklace for the 5th slot, and Slayer Ring for the 6th slot. As you can see here, they are all in a nice list now when I activate the passage. So if I press any of those numbers, it will use that piece of jewelry. It will use 1 charge from the passage. It starts with 5,000, and if I need any more, 1 fortunate is 500 charges. I never have to make any of this jewelry ever again. I'm happy. I wanted a scavenging perk for Hellhounds. I actually don't have it in my Hellhound setup. Definitely going to be losing a lot of components if I don't use it. So I just chucked in 9 precious 2 times over in an ancient gizmo, and sadly I got scavenging 2 both times. So I guess I'll just use scavenging 2 to start. Then once I get some more precious components, I'll make some more gizmos and try for scavenging 3 or scavenging 4. Continuing to improve the setup, I did Evil Dave's Big Day Out. That gives me Evil Dave's spellbook. What this does is it chips teleport tablets. The 2 best ones to chip are RD and the Watchtower. RD then takes you to West RD, which is really good for that West RD step and Jimmy the Dazzler's draws on hard clues, and it's really good for the RD scans on elites. The chipped Watchtower takes you to the Observatory, which is perfect for the one that's literally right next to the Observatory on hard clues. I want to try and be efficient with my setup and continuously improve it. It's definitely not efficient by any means right now, but we're getting there.
I spent quite a while making teleport tabs using up most of my lore runes. I now have tons. I'm pretty sure 894 Watchtower and 623 RD chip teleport tabs will last me a good amount of time. My preset looks like this currently, and it's getting better as we go. I kind of want to make this series showcasing how to do clues and build a clue preset as you go kind of thing while getting your Globetrotter and stuff like that. I've done so many like high tier guides with like best in slot presets and stuff, so it'll be cool to showcase it from a newer cluer perspective. I'll be going into a decent amount of tips and tricks next episode, alongside speaking a bit more about my actual like items and why I have them as we progress through this series, and whenever I make a new item I explain why I'm using it, etc. Hopefully you did enjoy this idea, and I'm gonna need to be efficient by the end to try and get that goddamn die. I don't want to kill this account, man. Hopefully you did enjoy the idea for this video. Give it a like to let me know that you enjoyed it, and let me know in the comments down below your thoughts and feedback. Have an absolutely lovely one, and as always, until next time, see ya.